Okay, so for this portion, we're going to talk about mentorship. So, have you ever mentored a junior salesperson, and what was the most important lesson you focus on when you're guiding people who you're trying to mentor?
So I don't mentoring somebody just on sales, not so much mentoring somebody on life.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So, which mentorship holds very near and dear to my heart. I do a lot of volunteer stuff, especially with people who I see potential in. So time is your most valuable resource. So the most flattering thing somebody can do is offer you their time. So I have mentored quite a few people over the years, and I've had very good results. And I think I understand, even long term, the significance of having a mentor, somebody you look up to. Kind of goes along the lines with the goals and the finish lines and thing. Somebody to ask questions about things off of. So I think it's important, and yes, I have, and yes, I do.
Okay. So, given that you've done that, how do you tailor your mentorship approach to fit different personalities and learning styles? Because we know different personalities, different people, they're going to need different things,
I am kind of I'm kind of a my way, or the. I mean, I'm not, I know what I've done to be successful for myself. If somebody doesn't want to listen to what you tell them, that's but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I think having certain habits or certain, again, holding yourself accountable. These are things I look for when somebody asks me to help them do something, or ask me for my opinion on something, or ask me, I want to see if you can set a meeting and show up at the meeting on time. I want to see if you can, where are you at on, at 1 a.m. on Wednesday? Are you in bed? Are you out? Does the person you're trying to teach really want to learn? That's probably the question I ask myself and that person. So now, I'm definitely. I think when I'm blessed with the opportunity or with to mentor somebody and say, I think it's definitely kind of you're asking me how I do things. So I'm trying to show you how I do things, right?
And I feel like a lot of, especially men, like young men, they need people like mentors that don't have fathers, because I feel it's kind of what's affecting like our youth right now. They don't have no one to look up to that's positive, that's going to teach them the right way.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult because I'm the oldest sibling, but like my dad passed away when I was like 18. So, but I was lucky enough to have him, in my life to like teach me things, to get me to 18. So like a lot of the things that I do now is like I remember what he taught me. So I know not to like make certain mistakes or get involved with certain people.
Right.
I felt it's very important, especially like since I'm the oldest, I have 2 little brothers and a little sister, so I had to kind of like check them sometimes.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I always say that it's easy, so again, a metaphor, we fall in a ditch in life. You fall in ditches in life. And I always say it's easy, to walk past somebody who's fallen in a ditch and not stick your hand down to help them out of the ditch. When you have fallen in the same ditch and figured out how you got out of it, you climbed out, right? And now you're going to turn your nose up and judge the next person because and human nature is that way, unfortunately.
Sure.
You got to reach down, especially if it's somebody, and reach down and help. Give them a hand. Share that knowledge. Share that wealth of information. Share the lesson you learned the hard way, so they don't have to learn it in the hard way.
Yeah.
The mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it.
I feel a lot of people don't do that in life. They don't teach their knowledge. And I feel that's really greedy because all we're doing is getting older.
A lot of them, they gatekeep. A lot of people, they gatekeep. And like you said, being in a ditch, all of us in this room have been in a ditch. But the biggest thing I learned when I was in the darkest season of my life is that no one was going to come save me. And as a man, I was on my own. And it kind of reminds me of one of my favorite movies, The Dark Knight Rises, right? So remember how he had that prestige? He had taken down the Joker, taken down Scarecrow, and then Bane, that's his most intimidating enemy that he fought, literally broke his back, and nobody was expecting that. And then Bane put him down in that Blackgate prison. His back was broken, he could barely move. And at first, he wanted to climb up that wall with that rope, but that rope and that fear was holding him back. But only then, once he let go the need of the rope, he was able to climb himself out of that. And that was a very powerful scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do we have another?
We do. So, in your opinion, what qualifies a great mentor? What, basically, in your opinion, for anybody else who's trying to mentor, what, in your opinion, would make somebody a good mentor?
A good mentor or a good mentee, I guess.
Both.
Well, a good mentor, oh gosh, I mean, it's hard. I mean, patience, time, willingness, willingness to share and potentially watch somebody do better than you have. I've introduced people who have made lots of money because I've introduced them, and it's not always like, hey, here's a bunch of money. You just do things to be a good person. It's not always about what you get in return. And, sometimes it's karma. Sometimes you get something way later in life, but just try to be a good person and doing things for the right reasons, But a willingness to learn, if I say, hey, if I'm setting a meeting with somebody and I say, hey, meet me at 11, or I'll let them set the time oftentimes when I'm first, and if they set the time and they can't make it, or they don't, I've got about 2 of those, and that, people will usually weed themselves out. I have people, particularly when I used to be, heavy in the gym, oh, Brad, I want to get in shape. Let's go work out. What do you got to do? I'm just,
I'll do
meet me at the Y at 8 a.m. or meet me at Quantum at 8 a.m. Whatever. Crickets, 8 a.m. comes around. Nobody's coming. Nobody's getting on. And even past that, you get in the gym. Oh, train me. All right, let's go lift that squat rack. Oh, I don't want to do that. Just people. Human nature. People can be lazy, and you can pretty quickly weed out who's in it to win it, or who has what it takes.
Yeah. That's very true.
Trial by fire. Working interviews.
That's very, very true.
Working interviews are big always.
It's like you gotta want to be better for yourself. I feel like
100%.
Got to.
You have to have that want, that hunger, and some people just don't have it. It doesn't matter. Some people can sit in squalor and filth and just be perfectly happy, but not me.
No. That's what kept me going. Like when I was really heavy in the gym, like I just wanted to be like I seen what I wanted to be in the vision I had for myself, and I just every day, even when I was sick, I didn't feel good. I just go in there, just sweat it out, just keep going.
100%.
It even was like to the point where like my previous relationship, it affected my relationship. It was just like
Jim jealous.
Yeah, I was like,
Jim jealous girls are no, because if a girl's mad at you for going to the gym,
That's a terrible.
I only ever think that was one girl that I ever talked to would get mad at me for going to the gym. And she was just mean, outright mean. She was a mean person. Anyway.
What do you want me to do? Lay in bed with you all day?
Dang, Jim, you're mad at me for going to the gym?
That's what I said. I was like,
crazy.
You're studying anyway. I can't go to the gym while you study. You want me to watch you study?
Do you want me to be fat, fucking nasty? You want me looking at me? It's like,
the gym is good.
It is, definitely.
To be a good mentor, the ability to know what a good mentee is, not waste your time, and be willing to get disappointed too. A lot of times people don't, but when it does pay off, it's amazing. I have a guy who I met when he was about 14, and I was probably in my late 20s. I was at the YMCA lifting weights, and I noticed I was probably working out with 405, and on going up on bench and squats well past 400 pounds. So people take notice of that. It's 4 plates, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And so he would go and then do what I did after, you know, and great young guy, had, you know, some issues, got kicked out of school for some sort of fight or something like that, and, you know, had a lot of potential in football, and kind of, you know, started just doing some things he shouldn't have. And then, you know, I was able to bring him, brought him, you know, kind of under my wing, really, and just, and he's a Green Beret now, in Special Forces. He's, you know, in his early 30s, and, you know, like, it's just to see the guys. And then sometimes I'll have people who have set in on, because I've mentored in this city I've done programs directed towards the betterment of youth in this city since about 2010, voluntarily, for Davidson County, for the state of Tennessee, for surrounding counties, you know, strictly on a voluntary basis. But I have people that have come up to me that have sat through my you know, classes and speeches, and they're like, "Do you remember me?" Hug me. "Hey, you took my life in a different direction." A couple guys, you know, we know that will remain nameless, you know, even down, you know, on Broadway, that run some of the bars, you know, have. So it's great to see people come full circle. A guy introduced me to his dad, who thanked me and hugged me, and actually randomly ended up kind of knowing, and said thank you, you know, for helping turn, you know, my son's life around. And I don't break my arm patting myself on the back, okay? I'm not, you know, I'm not anybody, but the ability to affect somebody's life, that ripple effect in a positive way, is very rewarding.
Definitely. Yeah, you would just say like the key when you're doing stuff like that is like consistency? Because I know a lot of people, like, especially like a young man, they can be like hard-headed. They don't want you to like tell them what, you know, they don't want you to tell them what to do.
When I had my shop, I would hire people all the time, give them working interviews. People would want to come and work for me. You know, they would seek me out to work for me because it was cool, and we had the nicest, biggest shop in the city with the coolest cars and all the coolest clients, you know. Yeah. And
amazing.
They, you know, they couldn't, you know, they couldn't make it a week, you know. And so, you know, people will dig their own grave, or if you let them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I just let people out. Actions speak louder than words.
That's true. If you try to like,
period.
You try to change somebody too much, you'll drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, you can't do that. Grown folks are going to do grown folks things. You can't, you know.
And if they're going to do something, a word that I notice a lot of people are doing when they're either setting goals and planning on meeting up with you. Yeah, let's get together someday. When is someday? It could be 50 years from now. It could be 40 years from now.
Pull out that phone right now. Let's text me. Even if I got your number, let's text me. I'm to lunch tomorrow. Let's get together. Hey, you know, set a reminder on my phone. I'm big on that, and that's the writing it down part. Right. You know, I'm always going to have a pen and notepad somewhere. I can't stress the importance of writing down goals, manifesting things. You know, I wrote down cars on a piece of paper a long time ago, and I owned a car shop, you know, a custom car shop. I wrote down James Bond watch. Didn't know that it was the Rolex No Date Submariner, you know, and it's what Sean Connery wore in the movie Thunderball, and what James Bond wore, so it's 007 watch. So I wrote that down on a piece of paper in an environment, you know, in a crazy environment, and where you couldn't even, and then to be able to learn what it was and then go out and get it again. The goals, the writing things down, that's the finish line. You know, manifest, think big, dream big. You know, if you don't know what a Gulfstream 600 ER is, how are you ever going to have a Gulfstream 600 ER?
That's true.
Well said.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, so really like manifesting and writing stuff down is pretty key.
I just think it's kind of the old like vision board. Like I think that like, you know, and you know, I'll get more into my background and my history and another, you know, but when you've been, you know, stripped down to where you don't have anything at all, okay, and nothing, and then you're able to build back from that, your appreciation changes, your values change, your attitudes and outlooks change drastically. And when you have nothing, it doesn't cost anything to think about everything. Does that make sense?
When you have nothing, it's just your thoughts and your four walls.
That's all you have.
You know, most likely, if you're broke, people aren't hitting you up. It's just you. So you have your laptop, computer, notepad, make a list of what you want your life to look like, and then just attack that slowly but surely.
And again, like people would think it's preposterous. I still have my list, some of the things I wrote down, and on my legal pads, and I did them all. I did it all the things. I wrote down green 72 Chevelle convertible. Had a green 72 Chevelle convertible. I wrote down custom cars. I owned a custom car shop. I wrote down NFL players. I had an NFL player for a business partner and ended up, servicing, dealing with most of their cars, most of all of our Titans players, just about you can think of at one point in time. So, and country music, I write that down, and then I ended up doing stuff for, J. Cole and Chris Young, Kane Brown, Tanya Tucker, Brooks and Dunn. I could go on.
It definitely is a great feeling to manifest something. Think about it. All of our goals, what we are, the mind, anything that we see in this physical realm, it all starts up here. And it's such a cool feeling to see what you manifested in the mental. And then over time, you see it in the physical.
And the key too is to continue to manifest, because for me, I hit kind of where I read, I didn't continue to write because I was accomplishing so many things. I didn't continue. So you always want to continue, because it's. I'm not going to say it's easy to make millions of dollars, but people can make millions of dollars. Hanging on to it and keeping it is the tricky part, right? Keeping it is the hard part. So yeah, but definitely. Again, big on dream big, think big, not to sound cliche, but, manifestation, if you've never thought about it, you can't become it, and what you think about in your mind, what you think about, you will become, slowly but surely, whether you realize it or not. Good, bad, or other.
That's true, yeah. And the people you hang around too.
100%.
It's very important.
Hang with the dog, you're going to get fleas.
Yeah. Sometimes the people I hang around, like,
Are fleas.
They're fleas. Yeah, the people I go out with, I'm just like, man, why am I? Some of the rooms, I'm like, why am I even here?
A lot of fleas.
Get up and leave.
Nashville.
Yeah, it's like, why am I here?
Lots of
Yeah, and you feel it too, especially when you have like high energy. You're like, why am I?
Yeah.
This isn't me.
100%.
Definitely. What's one thing you was like, kind of like on the ending note, like as motivation? Like, what's one thing you would say?
Again, there's so many, everything's so cliche, but keep on keeping on. Words my grandfather gave to me, and I mean, briefly, right before he passed away. I may have been his last words. Unfortunately, over telephone, and he was in the hospital, and I was able to get to speak with him, and he told me, I know you're going to be successful one day, and keep on keeping on. Don't ever give up. And I always held that with me, and I think the people who don't have the finish lines don't ever, and if we're doing the metaphor, if life is a race, you got the people who quit, who give up because they don't have the finish lines. The finish lines are the goals and the things you write down on the paper. You got to give yourself a pat on the back every now and then, and you got to cross off some successes so that you can make room for more. And keeping track of your successes and failures, learning from your failures and learning from your successes.
It's kind of like even if you don't cross the finish line first, at least you still ran the race and cross the finish line. Because some people just see everyone else go, like, win first or second, and they just give up and walk away.
Everybody's finish line is not the same distance.
Yeah.
Everybody's but set that finish line so you don't get tired and quit.
Yeah.
So
the key is you got to set your own finish line.
That's it.
Somebody else's finish line may be further, some may
Correct.
be behind you.
Correct.
if you see other people finishing first, that would be your motivation
Yes.
to continue to keep going versus just stopping and just laying down.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You gotta, you have to, trust me, it's staying motivated, especially in the midst of failures. And anybody who's been successful has had failures, and whether they talk about it or not, And, being able to fail, with grace, being able to get up, put a smile on your face, be the same person, even when everything's coming apart, being able to compartmentalize, and continuing to be a good person. Again, we're not using anything as an excuse for failure. We're not going to be, bad people because we had a bad day, right?
So yeah, that's why I'm always every time I'm around people, I'm always smiling and trying to give out good energy.
Yeah.
So, like, you attract that, I feel like people who walk around angry and stuff, that's what they attract. Like, I've seen it happen with people before, and I'm like, no, I can't be like that.
Well, at the end of the day, nobody really cares that you're angry because they have their own problems to deal with.
Right.
Especially as a man. When a woman, she's angry, she's crying, somebody going, comfort her. But as a man, you're upset, no one really gets it down. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, as men, we have. I say, there's, to me, a man does not describe anybody who has, who being a man is, it comes with a set of responsibilities. Being a good steward, the golden rule, protecting people who aren't able to protect themselves, being respectful to people, being respectful to our elders, being respectful to young people, being respectful to women. Being a man is doing the right thing kind of when nobody's looking. Being a man is taking care of your children. Being a man is mentoring other people. Being a man is donating your time and money to charity. Being a man is being able to, to be humble, to be able to exercise humility. Just because I can doesn't mean I will. So I think there's not a lot of men in today's society. There's a lot of but yeah, being a man to me has a set of responsibilities.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Especially even like, I feel like even when people get upset and angry and they want to fight each other, it's like, what I've learned is to go up and talk to somebody, like talk it out, or just have a conversation. Like if someone's trying to, like even if someone pushed me in the club or someone wanted to get into it with me in the club, I just go up and I pull them aside, just have a conversation as men,
Right.
We don't got to fight, we don't got to go to violence, like, especially nowadays, that leads to other things, like bigger than what's even worth. It's like, what's it worth, really,
God and prayers be with all the people in Antioch and Nashville and Antioch High School. I mean, today we just had that, I saw, and I cannot express to you, and again, this is the topic for another, the impact guns have had not only on my life, but on the lives of so many people that I care nearly and dearly about. And, I'm not an anti-gun person, but guns in the wrong hands is terrible, and the fact that we, as a society, have normalized and glorified, the violence and the gun play, is something that we need to be accountable for, and we need to kind of understand that we've created a monster, and we got to deal with it because young people, squeezing that trigger is a split-second decision that changes your life forever.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that men need to be more in control of their emotions. If you're having school shootings, it's because men act on how they feel. You should never act how you feel.
I feel like they need to publicly execute these school shooters, and maybe that would send the message.
Yeah, and with these kids, they need to. They had to have mentors or father figures. Someone has to speak up or do something to let them know it's not okay, especially at that age, because they don't know. They see it on rap videos. They probably see it in social media. They think it's cool. Like we should walk around with guns. This is how we defend ourselves, but it's really not. My dad taught me, there's plenty of times I got into fist fights and I would lose, but you get up and you shake hands, you live another
That's
day.
it.
That's all you do. And some of the people I fought, they're like my best friends to this day. Like some of the people I've lost to, some of the people I won fights with, we're still best friends to this day. We're still alive. You just gotta, I don't get it.
Well, that's the good mentality. Your father was a good man, God rest his soul. I'm sure of it from what you just told me. Rufus, I see, has made his way into the interview.
Let him have his moment.
Yeah, you gotta have his moment. But no, yeah, exactly right. And it's not the end of the day if you lose a fight. I've lost fights. We all lose. But being able to take an ass whooping, being able and dust yourself off and shake hands. That's the proper way to do it. This gunplay stuff.
No, that's not good.
No bueno.
Hopefully it needs to change.
Hopefully. All right.
You wrap it up?
This is Real Reality Check Podcast. This is my featured guest, Brad. And Gabe, say the slogan. Go ahead.
All right, you could be anywhere in the world, but here you are with us.